And yesterday was a really bad day for him, and this is what he did.
8 people in Atlanta are dead in what is clearly a hate crime against Asian Americans. Yet the police in Atlanta are out there appearing to do PR for the killer. So these clips that I'm going to show you in a minute here are truly stunning. But before I get there, let me give you more details in terms of what happened here. So in Atlanta, a gunman shot dead 8 people at 3 massage parlors Tuesday evening. 6 of the victims were Asian descent. All but 1 were women. A 21-year-old white male suspect, Robert Aaron Long, has been taken into custody. Anti-Asian hate crimes have surged since the start of the pandemic. And I'll get to more on that in a minute here. But a witness here came out and at one of the spas said that the gunman screamed that he would kill all the Asians. So despite this evidence, despite the fact that most of the Asians were killed during this murder spree, this is what the police came out and said in his apparent defense.
The suspect did take responsibility for the shootings. He said that early on once we began the interviews with him. He claims that these, and as the chief said, this is still early, but he does claim that it was not racially motivated. He apparently has an issue, what he considers a sex addiction, and sees these locations as something that allows him to go to these places, and it's a temptation for him that he wanted to eliminate.
So in case you're wondering, no, his defense lawyer is not a cop in Atlanta. This is just a cop in Atlanta defending the killer, saying what the killer said in his defense in terms of why he did it, already framing the story from the start as the killer being a victim here of his sex addiction, as opposed to looking at the facts that Asians were targeted here, that a witness said that the killer said he's going to kill all the Asians. No, the killer, he was a victim of his sex addiction. The cops out here already putting out the defense's argument for him. Just absolutely incredible. Now, if you thought that clip was stunning, check out this next one.
The investigators, they interviewed him this morning, and they got that impression that, yes, he understood the gravity of it, and he was pretty much fed up and kind of at the end of his rope, and yesterday was a really bad day for him, and this is what he did.
Remorseful?
I'm not going to go to, I don't know if he was remorseful or not.
This is unbelievable. So he'll draw the line at discussing whether or not he was remorseful, the killer was remorseful or not, but he'll still go out here and say, well, he had a bad day. He had a bad day. It was a really bad day for the killer. Really bad day for him. How about the people he killed? If this person was black or brown, do you really think the cops will be out here saying this? Well, he said he had a bad day. I mean, he had a bad day. It's unbelievable that they will do this. Not unbelievable, stunning that they would go out here and say this. And I mean, this essentially puts him into, it's framing the killer as somebody to empathize with. Whether or not the officer is knowingly doing that or not, it's what it does. You're putting the initial story going out to the public that will be judging him in a courtroom. The initial story going out there is that he had a bad day, wasn't racially motivated. You know, he has an addiction. He just wanted to get rid of the addiction by murdering people. And on top of that, it was a really bad day for him. This sort of framing of the story has an impact on how people view the killer and similar incidents like this. So this isn't just, saying the wrong thing, because it has an actual impact on the people watching, on society watching this. Now, obviously, as I discussed briefly earlier, this is after a massive increase in hate crimes against Asian Americans. Headline here from The Guardian. Asian Americans reported 3,800 hate-related incidents during the pandemic, report finds. Abuse tracked by Stop AAPI Hate found more than 68% was verbal harassment, while 11% was physical. From March 19th, 2020 to February 28th, 2021, Asian Americans from all 50 states experienced everything ranging from verbal abuse to physical assaults, from getting coughed on to getting denied services because of their ethnicity, according to a report released on Tuesday by Stop Asian American Pacific Islander Hate, a not-for-profit coalition tracking incidents of violence, discrimination, and harassment. So this is just a more extreme example of the hate that's already been going on. That has seen an increase over the last 5 years of Donald Trump. He definitely had an impact on this. There has been a rise in all hate crimes under Donald Trump. It's not that he created the hate, it's that he allowed it to be expressed. So people that have had this hate in them the entire time have felt more willing to express it because of the kind of hate that has been espoused by Donald Trump and others in conservative media or in the conservative spotlight. And just going off on that point, as Time writes here, many attribute the 2020 uptick to the xenophobic rhetoric of Biden's predecessor. Former President Trump repeatedly referred to COVID-19 as the China virus, blaming the country for the pandemic. In doing so, Trump followed in a long American history of using diseases to justify anti-Asian xenophobia, one that dates back to the 19th and 20th centuries and has helped to shape perception of Asian Americans as perpetual foreigners. So it's really just an extension of what the kind of hatred that's been espoused in the past against Asian Americans, and we've seen in the data the obvious increase in hate crimes because of it. Now, I want to leave you here with this link to Stop Asian American Pacific Islander Hate. So they have a link here, 5 things to consider when experiencing hate, 5 ways to help if you're witnessing hate, and also this page where you can actually report an incident, whether you've witnessed it or been a victim of a hate crime. So I'll link to that below the video.